Hello, my name is Bradley, and I'm your host of The Internal Game. That is my intro to all video, even though it looks like we have a podcast set up today. It is not, but I do have a a special guest with us today, and her name is Lacou. She is actually a member of the Internal Game School Community, and she runs an amazing group over in the community called Feeling Circles. And I thought it was so important of an exercise of like an experience that I wanted to be able to share it have her share it with you guys because of it's like monumental in the sense of what we do in presence-based identity work and getting out of patterns and stopping running from self and pretty much getting out of fear and returning to what's truth within. So I do want to introduce Lacou. Lacou, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel really excited for our conversation.
Awesome, awesome. And if you could just give the people a little bit about yourself, give a little bit of info about yourself, I guess.
Sure. Hello, my name is Lacou Flipse, and I host Feeling Circles inside of the internal game Skool Community. And yeah, I feel a little nervous right now, actually. It's so funny because we were just talking and I wasn't nervous. Um, But yeah, I am a recovery coach for people who are navigating addiction to food, and I'm starting to branch out into addictions in general, recovery in general. And for the past like 13 years, I've been helping people recover from food addiction. And I have my own history with addiction. I was addicted to food many, many years ago, and I was able to recover through basically coming home to myself. And my practice of feeling circles is basically kind of born out of that. So, yeah, when I joined the community, I saw like the work that we were doing there, and I just thought like it would be a good add-on. So yeah, I felt really happy when you were down to have me host these calls.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it's true. Like I remember when you first reached out, I was like, I have no idea what this is. Um, but I was like, let's try it. With the idea of assumption, like, okay, let's just say it's done. Like what do we gotta do with feelings for? Or that kind of sounds maybe a law of attraction-ish. Who knows? Like who knows? Like I didn't know enough about it, but we tried it and like it's exactly what I think I've been looking for. I think what people are looking for, then maybe not even know it. So I'm glad that you're able to do that. And I like the approach of focusing on addictions because it's all the same, whether it be food,
Yeah, it is.
drugs. I mean, they have different outcomes sometimes, but like it's still all the same as why it's a thing.
Yeah,
So whether it be addicted to thinking, food, alcohol, sex, whatever the case may be, it's a thing. So
yeah. I think like maybe how you talk about the addiction to thoughts is like part of the reason why I felt like, oh, I think this would be um, a good add-on to the work that we do in the school community.
oh, most definitely, because I look forward to the Wednesday calls every Wednesday. And so what is oh, and by the way, I was for sure you were gonna say cult when you were introducing. You're like, I do
Really
feeling
hard not
circles in the
to.
cult.
I
It's so
maybe that
funny.
contributed to my nervousness because I was like, can't say cult.
It's
Um,
funny. We joke around in the some of us joke around in the school community and be like, oh, it's like a cult, but we all know that it is. I mean that it isn't. That it isn't. It isn't. Kidding. So but anyway, I was waiting for you to say it. And I was gonna start laughing, but you didn't. So I thought I'd break the ice and be funny. But okay, so what is feeling circles? Feeling circles, by the way, not
feeling
feelings circle. Feeling circles.
I mean, either works, but feeling circles is basically a place where we gather online and everyone comes together and shares their feelings and the stories that go along with them, the thoughts. And the powerful element of that is like when people share all that together in community, we all can witness just how sometimes sticky certain thoughts are, and how just like some thoughts are just like not, they just are clearly not true. They're clearly just a story, just a thought, like you say. And when we really are invited to feel our feelings instead of escaping them into thoughts or into some other like addictive pattern, like being on the phone or like any other type of avoidant
Hmm.
activity. We really get to process those feelings and let them go. And something about the community just makes it easier for that to happen. And so, when I host these circles, I often feel like so much connection to everyone in the group. Even though we're all meeting like all from all over the world, I just feel
Hmm.
so connected to everybody and I feel so connected with myself. Feel so like connected to the presence within me that I think makes me feel connected to everyone because we're all like one. At the end of the day, we're all like presence at our core. And so I think feeling circles really gives you the tangible experience of presence. And it gives you this tool to practice when you are outside of feeling circles, when you're with your boss, your coworker, your lover, you can like really be with yourself,
Exactly.
just how you are when you're in feeling circles. And so I think it gives people a practice of really staying with the self, staying in presence while we're like navigating this world 3D. And yeah, I um I just really love it. I love sharing it. I
No,
love
I
uh,
like the whole thing gets kicked off like guys like this. It's like I am feeling, and there's like a feeling wheel in there with a bunch of different descriptive words about like feelings. And it's like I'm feeling this because I have a story that blank, right? So that's it's super, super like really good for like being observant of okay, I'm feeling anxious because I have a story that I have to speak right in this call or something like that, right? It's
yeah,
and
that's
you're
definitely a
very
story I had earlier.
yes, exactly, right? So
Yeah.
mirroring,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
like just hearing you say that story, like just like in feeling circles, I already feel like more connected to my presence. Like I feel like not connected to that story because when I hear you say it, I'm like, wow, it really is just a thought. And we all have very similar thoughts, and you start to realize like through feeling circles, like none of our thoughts are unique or special or like particularly damning. They
no,
just thoughts.
exactly, and it's like, and then someone else will share. And they'll say, I'm feeling this way because I have a story that blah blah blah, right? And then someone like you can be like, okay, I feel compassion because so and so share, and you're actually able to hear somebody share something that's kind of like maybe deep to them in that moment, but you can recognize it with spaces. It's just a story, and that helps you also do that with yourself because well, there are
Yeah.
it's everyone is you, but yeah, it's extremely beneficial in that sense. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up because I feel like hosting and attending feeling circles has just like helped me feel more compassion for myself, like out of anything, because just seeing other people have the same feelings or different feelings or like just painful stories and they share them and I can feel compassion for them, just how I would feel compassion for those parts in me. And that person receiving the compassion often is able to mirror that onto themselves too. And yeah, it helps break the cycle of like internal shame and
Hmm.
perfectionism. And yeah, you really can let go of a lot of these like things that keep us in cycles.
Exactly, because it's not a therapy session. It's like no one's validating anyone's victim story at that point, but
Right.
it is
Oh,
about recognizing that there's a story, right? So
yeah.
like, and Lacou is perfect at this. If someone, which we're all guilty of at some point, because like we're like I'm feeling this way, and we kind of just like say I'm feeling this way, and then we go into story
Yeah.
because blah 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 blah. This happened, this happened, this happened, and like Lacou's great. She'll come in and say, hey, listen, what's the feeling? Not the story, right? Because that's exactly how we suppress the feeling. That's exactly how we run away from feeling is getting caught up in these
Yeah.
stories, and we all know that that's not what we're trying to do up in here. So,
Right. It's like a very kind of sneaky way that we stay stuck when we think we're feeling our feelings, but we're like sharing this whole long monologue, which is basically bypassing the feeling and keeping the feeling like avoided and
Mm.
it doesn't get processed. So yeah, in group, I will occasionally have to bring someone back and like just like lovingly ask them like, hey, like what's the feeling under that story? And often when people do that, they're able to release that or have some type of shift in that moment. 'Cause yeah, we can just like ruminate forever really on the
Anybody,
story
yeah, it's a thing.
and think that we're feeling. And so to be able to have that pause in this group, it will allow you to do that with yourself when you notice you're stuck in your mind. When you're like, oh, actually, I need to feel what's here instead of trying to process or solve a problem or try to fix what I'm feeling. I need to just feel what's here. And then, yeah, you do that enough, you'll realize like you don't have to ruminate and process your feelings in your mind. That's actually like an avoidance strategy. It's
Yeah, the
really clever.
100%. Yeah, the mind is extremely clever. So actually, and it helps me outside of even the feeling circle because I've seen people do it in real time in the in the feeling circle. I've even seen Lacou be like, I'm feeling so and so because I think someone may judge this or is feeling some kind of way or because I have the
Yeah.
story and it's like it's you catch it right in the moment. And that is like self-mastery. I did it last night. Something was going on with the cake, so I had to go to Norman, Oklahoma City. Don't even know where this at. Me and my stepdaughter went, and I remember telling myself I'm feeling rushed because I have a story that I have to get this cake by a certain time, or we're not going to eat on time, and then people are going to be hungry. And I was like, oh, again, feeling rushed. Story's just story, right? And so like I was able to bring it back to the moment and say it's all fine, all because
Yeah.
I was able to recognize like, hey, I'm feeling a certain way. Probably not in the present moment. And I'm probably like projecting something, probably,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what was happening. And I was able to, but that's because of things like the feeling circles. So yeah, it's beneficial.
Yeah, I'm like that all day. Like, okay.
All
Actually,
day.
I'm that person who will just like ruminate in my mind. So that's why I'm so good at catching other people do it. So I I love like when I notice that, I'm like, okay, I need to just feel what's here. And I love how feelings bring you to the present moment because it's what's happening right now. The story is something that's not even happening right now. Like with the,
Exactly.
rushing, like that story about rushing, it wasn't actually like the fear of, I don't know, whatever the fear was there. It wasn't happening in that moment. And when you're just with the rushing feeling and wherever it was, like that was able to bring you back. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's really simple. It's a very simple practice, but it can be challenging to do. Um, so that's why we do this weekly in the school space, so people can like really develop the skill and be able to utilize it
Oh
in
yeah.
everyday life.
Yeah, when I think of self-mastery, like that's kind of what I do. I know I get confused sometimes with like manifesting and things like that, but it really is for me about more of a presence-based lifestyle, presence-based identity, and self-mastery, like and dedication to that. Because all the other stuff is just reflections of you. So that's primary, and this kind of stuff is perfect for that kind of that route, that lifestyle, because like yeah, it brings you into awareness and not unconscious story. And also like when you're talking with people that are in the group and someone shares. And sometimes there is a story like that, like it's that no one would disagree that isn't like, dang, that kind of sucks, right? And so it's like that's a thing. But we're also able to hold space for these people and and members of the community and say, hey, look, um, I feel compassion with this because I've felt this way before. Like I see, XYZ, and it kind of it just lightens the whole experience. But I have yet to be at one that by the end of it, people aren't laughing and like actually having a good time. Even
It's
though, yeah, even though like in the beginning there's maybe one person that has like, hey, which is okay. That's what we're there to do. We're there to recognize, feeling and the story that's kind of driving it, or yeah, the story that's kind of keeping it lodged in there and things like that. So it's what we're there to do. But yeah, by the time that's over, people are like, I feel playful, I feel grateful, I feel like it's a really good time. I absolutely adore that meeting.
yeah. It was really cool to see like people come in and they're like, Oh, I don't want to share this because I don't want to like bring down the space or whatever, but I notice when people even share like the really deep and vulnerable stuff, it actually builds like the intimacy with everyone in the space because everyone's able to witness the feeling and the story, the vulnerability, and I notice like something softens like in me when I notice someone sharing really vulnerably like that, even if it's like not like, oh, I feel so much bliss or whatever. If it's like, oh, I feel like anxious and I'm in my head and have all these stories, I just notice that I just feel a softness in me and I feel compassion for them and I feel compassion for that part in me that shows up from time to time.
Hmm. There you go.
And yeah, and I think like that's transmuted to that person because often that someone who shares something really heavy at the end they leave lighter. And yeah, like the thought of empaths is coming to mind because sometimes people bring that up in the space. And the thing I love about this circle is like you really learn how to be an empowered empath. Like you're not absorbing people's feelings. Like when people are sharing something difficult, you're feeling what comes up in you, but you're not absorbing their feelings or
Mm,
taking it on.
perfect.
You're recognizing that that's their story. It's not your story. And this is what is felt in you. And when you feel that, and I think you say this too, like you feel it and you don't like attach to it, it just like comes and goes. And often in me, I notice like it comes and it just like I just feel so much spaciousness after it comes in and like shifts. And yeah, I've learned how to be a more empowered like feeler out in the world and empowered empath through my facilitation and participation in feeling circles.
Yeah, me too. Because I talk about getting rocked a lot. I'm like, yes, I want to be rocked by thoughts and you don't want to be rocked by other people's like, well, yeah, but I was doing great until somebody said this. And then it's like, so if we're walking around constantly getting rocked, taking on other people's stuff, even though it's all reflection. You're getting your conscious. I do understand this, but what I'm saying is like if you're in a room and someone is anxious or someone is upset and you are not grounded and you like you can even find yourself getting upset with them for being upset that like it's messing with your state because I'm trying to manifest something and then like I'm and you're taking on these people's energy.
Yeah.
The idea is to be grounded, to not be so shook by things. And when you are asking, when you're being aware of self and you're asking yourself, I'm feeling this way because I think this person is influencing my state, then you realize that this is a story, this person is not influencing your state. And then you can, you know, breathe and get grounded again and things like that. But it's about like and in the circle, in the feeling circles, you realize like, okay, I'm I'm holding space for this person. Like someone's sharing a story. I'm sitting here holding a space. I'm listening. I can feel compassion. I can feel understanding these things. Like, but like I'm not taking on the whole. I'm not taking on the emotion, and it benefits them. Benefits you. It's a masterful way of living, and to take that outside of the circle into the rest of your day is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I feel so like high after feeling circles
Yeah,
because
feeling
I'm
circles
just
is
like
cool.
so connected to myself. I love how you said you're holding space. Like I kind of think of it differently. Like for me, it's like I'm with myself as I'm experiencing this other person. And when I'm with myself, I'm like being present with me. And that allows me to not get caught up in their stuff. I'm able to feel what comes up in me, but I'm not caught up by that either because I'm like with like this deeper part of me, like the presence within. And so, yeah, just to kind of bring it back, like the point of feeling circles in the internal game is to connect with the presence within you so that you can take that out into the world and just like be and have that reflect out into your reality. And it's like hard to talk about how to be present, you know, like you talk about it so much here, but it's kind of ineffable. And yeah, it's like I hear a lot of teachers online talk about it, and it's like not many places give you the opportunity to really practice presence. So I think that's one of the beautiful things about feeling circles and the community is like really gives you that presence based, that felt based, the opportunity to really feel present in yourself and like navigate things while you are present. Like people having difficult feelings, people having good feelings. Maybe you're not having good feelings while others are having good feelings. Like you get to be with all of that while you're present. And yeah, from that place, you get to just like see that you're not rocked. Like the presence within you isn't by everything happening. And you get to really feel free, in your life and have things happen and stay with yourself through it all. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, and I did want to say one more thing about it before we sort of close it up is that one of my favorite things about the feeling circles was that uh, the common uncomfortability in silence.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when there's no one that says anything, and there's no like, hey, I'm feeling this way. Um, the pull to kind of fill that space with like something to say or like is strong, and it's because to think that's how often people run from silence. Like to think
Hmm.
that something needs to be filled up with like doom scrolling or a conversation. It's like not saying it's pointless, but I think you get what I'm saying. But like because like no one really wants to sit with self because these feelings that we're identifying, or my bad, haven't identified will start to come up and people don't like it. I think it was Carl Jung that said people will do anything, no matter how uncomfortable, to avoid facing their own souls. And this is like and then he also said that, until you make the unconscious conscious, it'll direct your life and you'll call it fate. And
Yeah.
this is the issue that we run into when we're like, how come I can't make these changes? How come I keep being pulled back these stories? And if you ask somebody why they're feeling some way, they don't really know. They're just feeling a certain way. So it's like, okay, well, now you're saying, okay, I feel this way because I have a story. I like that. I
Yes.
have a story. I don't have a fact. Like, now I don't have any proof. I just have a story in my mind that like this is going on. So that's probably why I'm feeling this way. And to kind of look at it with some awareness and say, okay, this is what's going on. And then to right after that, maybe sit with some silence and feel that uncomfortableness and say, okay, this is and just breathe. Like it is self-mastery at its finest in a group session for sure.
I love that you brought up the silence. I love the silence. Like I feel so present when we have silence during the call. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention about that is like this thought occurred to me while we were on the last feeling circle, which is like the silence is kind of like the void where nothing is happening, right?
Yes.
Like if you can be with the silence, then you can be with nothing is happening. Oh,
That is a fact. That is not a story. That is a
you know,
fact.
that's my story.
That is a fact.
But like I think it's true.
That is true.
Um, yeah, and it's like if you can be with the silence or the void with so much like presence, it actually feels like bliss. There's no waiting there. There's no waiting for someone to speak. There's no like, oh, I'm so anxious. I need someone to speak to relieve me of this anxiety. It's just like I feel the anxiety and I notice the story and I'm just like present, you know? Often I feel so much bliss during that. And it's taught me a lot about how to be with the void.
The voice. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, I'm with that 100%. I agree with that totally. So, and was there anything else? Oh, where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me at enlightenedmunch.com. Um,
Enlightened what?
enlightenedmunch.com.
Enlightened much. Okay.
Yeah.
Enlightened much.
Yeah. So I host weekly feeling circles for people who are navigating recovery in that space and weekly circles in the internal game community. And yeah, I also have a YouTube. It's I can link that as well. It's just Lacou Flipse. Um,
Cool.
yeah, trying to think if
Perfect.
there's anything else I wanted to share. Does that feel complete?
Feels complete.
Okay, yeah, that feels good.
All right. Sounds good. And then we'll just yeah, I'll tag or I'll link the where to find you in the description of the video.
Okay.
And you
Sounds
can
good.
also post it on your channel as well.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, everyone, this is Lacou, and we're glad you came to listen.
Thank you guys. Bye.